Call to the evening session of the May 11, 2021 Nelson County Board of Supervisors. We'll start with public comment. Anyone present like to address the board? Seeing no one for the public hearing, public comments, I'll close the public comments and move on to the public hearing. First item is communications tower, Class C, Verizon.
This location is on Salem Road in Schuyler. The property is a little over 50 acres. Request is for a 180-foot steel monopole wireless communications tower with a 4-foot lightning rod. The balloon test at the site was held on April 15th at 8 a.m. Photo simulations are provided in the packet and will be presented in the presentation for you as well. The following modifications are requested. One is for height. Typically, the maximum allowable height for a Class C tower is 130 feet. We've seen in most past applications heights taller than that requested. This is 180 feet with a 4-foot lightning rod. Second modification is for antennas. Ordinance requires no more than 3 arrays, and each array containing no more than 3 antennas. The applicants are requesting a modification to allow 5 arrays with 6 antennas each. There'll be for co-location opportunities, and Verizon will take the top spot there. The last modification requested is for fall area. The minimum distance from the tower face to the property line shall be 110% of the tower height for metal monopoles. The applicants provided a letter to certify that the 180-foot monopole was engineered to maintain a maximum fall zone radius of 100 feet. You've been provided a project narrative. The area is agricultural and residential. There is some floodplain on the property, but the tower site is not located in or near those bounds. Property is otherwise vacant and heavily wooded. It's accessed by an existing entrance. There's a proposed 20-foot wide access and utility easement to the site. VDOT indicated that a private entrance classification is acceptable if no additional commercial uses are provided. The Planning Commission recommended approval 4-0 of this request with the modifications I referenced, and that the tower be constructed according to the final approved site plan. The applicants are here with presentation, and if you have any questions, I'll be glad.
Anyone have any questions for Dylan at this point? Okay. Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Board of Supervisors. My name is Charlie Alvis. I'm with the law firm of Williams Mullen here for Verizon. This evening with me is Mr. Nate Holland of GDN Sites to help this project, as well as our landlord, Mr. Tubler. I just have a few slides I'd like to show you all, and I will be happy to answer any questions. Just to get oriented, this red pin is where the site is located. It's on Salem Road in Schuyler. It's right next to the entrance to the Quarry Gardens that you all are probably familiar with, I'm sure. The objectives here are coverage and capacity, coverage being really the key one in the sense that there's not hardly any coverage to speak of in this area, but also capacity to allow the demand to be met as folks get online in this part of the county. The nearest Verizon wireless sites are quite far away. The closest are 2 that are 6 miles to the west and the north, and then after that, the nearest are 7 and 11 miles. Those are basically too far away to even serve this area, so the tower site that's been proposed here will plug a hole in the existing network, and it's very much needed. This is a slide that just demonstrates how important this is to folks. Wireless really is a utility these days, and you can see with this chart that the number of folks that rely on cell phones versus landlines has flipped several years back now, that more people rely only on cell phones than have landlines at home at all. Likewise, with data usage by wireless users has continued to go up and up and up each year, and that trend is continuing. And likewise with the pandemic, although we're hopefully coming out of that pretty soon, there's been such an increase in working from home and doing school from home and other communications and video calls and whatnot that data has been really essential for the last year plus, and folks that have been underserved by wireless services have really been at a disadvantage, and so this would help with that as the world continues to increasingly rely on wireless technologies and internet connection. These slides will show a little bit more about the particulars of the site. This is just a zoom in of some of the plans that you were provided. The red circle area sort of shows the extent of what would be added on this site. It's a 50 by 50 square foot lease area. There would be a 20-foot wide access and utility easement that would basically follow the existing driveway that's on this parcel. And there would be a 12-foot wide gravel access road that would serve the site. This is just a more zoomed in picture of the 50 by 50 lease area. You see the monopole there is in the center with some equipment there off to the right. The whole lease area would be fenced in as noted on the plans. And the gravel access road would have a turnaround area so that the vehicles, the service vehicles and any emergency vehicles or anyone else that would need to visit the site would be able to turn around there. And again, just another zoom in of the compound. This has all been provided in your materials, and this just indicates where the different pieces of equipment would be located relative to the site. The elevation here, this shows what the overall height of the tower being 184 feet with a 180-foot monopole and a 4-foot tall lightning rod on the top with the ability to have up to 5 arrays of antennas with Verizon being on the top spot. Other carriers and emergency services in the county would be able to co-locate on this tower per Verizon's co-location policy. The balloon test that Ms. Bishop mentioned, we drove around the surrounding roads and took some photographs of where the balloon was visible and not visible to give a simulation of what this tower would look like when it's built. You'll see the red dots there are where the site was, where the balloon was visible, and the blue dots are where the balloon was not visible. The reason you don't see any dots really to the east there is simply because there are not really that many roads to go down, and the parcels are quite large and it backs up to a ridge. And so this was the extent of the photographs that were able to be taken. But the topography of the site really makes it such that the balloon was only visible when you're right up on that part of Salem Road near the site. The rest of the roads that we traveled, we just really couldn't see the balloon at all. But here is a one visual simulation. This is from a neighboring parcel on the east side of Salem Road. This is taken from their yard, and you can see where the tower would be visible over the tree lines and what that would look like. This particular property owner was very pleased to hear that this tower was going in. Mentioned that their home security system had been could be upgraded if they were able to get wireless service, and they were eager to pursue that once the tower was built. Was quite supportive of this. Another one here from south of the site on Salem Road. There's a utility corridor for these power lines that runs along the road there, and so that kind of contributes to the visibility a little bit just from where the trees are cleared. But from this vantage point, it's obviously blending in somewhat behind those trees. Here again, this is from the northeast along Salem Road. As you can see, this is right at the entrance to the corridors, and you can see where the tower would be visible from where the trees have been cleared for the power lines. But that's, of course, a fairly narrow area and not visible for most of the stretch of that road. And again, this is on Salem Road, east of the site, to give you a sense. The rest of these pictures are from places where the tower of the balloon was not visible. So this is on Salem Road northeast of the site, southwest, southeast, Rockfish Crossing, Howardsville Turnpike, southeast of the site, and then right in the middle of Skyway there, Rockfish River Road, not visible, and likewise, the different shot northeast, not visible. And so that's all the presentation I have prepared, I'd be happy to answer any questions you want.
So, how long is this gonna take,
All the way to,
building this tower?
building?
Yeah.
Well, I certainly can't give you any promises. I'm not, it's not information that I'm privy to in my position. I think the general timelines are, this goes through a building process, a permitting process after this to get all the site plans and so on approved.
Okay.
And then it goes through Verizon's process. So I think you're looking at anywhere from, could be up to 2 years, but hopefully sooner than that.
Gotcha. Hopefully sooner than that. We're shooting for sooner than that, so make sure you spread that over to your people on Verizon.
Absolutely.
Okay, we won't forget. So, but, I have no issues. This made it out of the planning commission. We're doing gray. Are we doing, what color are we doing on the monopole? What was the colored pole are we doing?
Java Brown,
Java brown. Is that from planning commission or is that?
that was part of the proposal.
Java brown, okay. I have no questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
Do you need to open the public hearing or
We do.
do we?
Thank you.
So I will open the public hearing on this. If anyone wishes to speak, you can do it now. You can come up if you want to address the,
I'm
The
the
board.
property owner, and I'm very much
excuse me, I need your name and address, please.
Armand T. Glow, 1981 Salem Road. I'm the property owner, and I'm very much in favor of getting this in as quickly as possible, because the Quarry Gardens operation that we run at 1643 Salem Road has no reasonable cell phone coverage. And an awful lot of people who visit that site want to be able to use their cell phones to compare the plants that they see with those that are indexed on the various apps that cover native plants and such. So we're looking forward very enthusiastically to the possibility of adding that facility for our guests at the Quarry Gardens.
Thank you.
Anyone else wish to speak? If not, I will close the public hearing. Board, what is your pleasure?
Nate, why is the request for 6 different towers, 6 different,
Hi, my name's Nate Holland, I represent Verizon. Your question,
why so many?
because they know Nelson County needs the coverage. I mean, I think that's as easy as
They may need
put
a
it.
cell service, but I believe broadband is already down there,
No, not on Salem.
but it will be within a 12-month period.
Well, that's Skylar proper.
What?
Skylar proper, not Salem Road. Salem Road is part of a different build out. It's probably close to 2024.
Okay. But I mean, but it's, you actually building speculatively, trying to lease out to other vendors.
I mean, that is always Verizon's intention, to lease out to other carriers to install their equipment on the tower. I mean, other carriers are T-Mobile, AT&T,
Yeah.
whoever.
More the merrier.
So whoever would want to use it, they can.
But it's, according to your paper, it says Verizon,
Verizon, I mean, is building the tower.
I
They're
realize
gonna
that, but
install
they're
it.
saying this would be a Verizon, I read something somewhere, it was all 6
I
of them.
mean, it's
showed-
not used strictly for Verizon.
well,
It'll be
it's-
used, I mean, it's, I think the county's policy also is to allow co-location, that's part of the zoning policy. So that would be, we're required by county code as well too, to
Right.
offer the space to other and kind of owners, service providers. The county, even if the county wanted to place equipment on the tower.
That was my only question.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, with the much needed of telecommunications in Schuyler. This area is very much underserved. I look forward at this time to be motioning to approve this as given to us by the planning commission.
Any further discussion? Do we need to specify the
Color.
the colors in it? The height and the arrays and the fall area and all those specifically?
I would say as recommended, with the recommendations from the plan.
Yeah,
Okay.
as given to us by the planning
Okay.
commission.
Any further discussion? Smart.
Mr. Barr?
Yes.
Mr. Hardy?
Yes.
Mr. Barton?
Yes.
Mr. Rutherford?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes.
Dylan, what happened
Thank
to the,
Thank you.
we had
There you
asked for these things,
Very worked on that.
not having all this information?
We'll look for y'all.
You have my number.
We better have Piney River before Schuyler, that's all I'm saying.
Hold on, hold on. We know where your offices are.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
What was that?
We laugh now.
All of this paperwork that somebody had to do, and nobody up here read any of it or anything else. And it's, to me, it's just a waste.
That's really our fault for just providing all the information. It's difficult.
You mean
to
the paper is
sort.
waste?
Well, if somebody
I didn't get any paper.
had someone to look at it, there should be one copy in her office that you should go by and look at. But that is ridiculous, the amount of paperwork. And then you gotta do how many copies at the planning commission? Then 5 copies here, 6, 7, another 10 copies here. I mean, we're wasting trees.
All joking aside, that's why I have a laptop. I don't get a paper packet other than stuff that's necessary here, but it's all electronic. I got everything you got right here. Not one sheet of paper.
Yeah, most of the planning commission, I think, does it electronically too. And then they submit, the original packets are submitted by the applicant, and we just hang on to those, and recycle them.
I do all my review electronically, but as chair, it's really useful to have the paper to be able to stay on top of having things in order and clipped by agenda item and things like that. So I find the paper copy to be useful the day of. So,
How many times you read that?
twice actually, once for the planning commission and once.
On
now
the,
on
all the
review.
papers right there on your right hand.
Well, it's really, I didn't actually read these papers, but when we have, 8 agenda items, it's very useful to be able to do this to get to the next item as opposed to do this. So it's a matter of convenience. As chair, I'm not saying as, for anybody else, that's just for me because it expedites things. So I find the paper copy useful. If I'm not chair, which I won't be forever, I probably don't need it.
Dylan's really innocent, it's grace to me. So we'll try to do better with just streamlining the package.
I was scared to leave something out, so I just printed all of it.
I understand that it's important that you give us all the information so that we can make our decisions. I totally get that.
But Dylan has made sure that everything is in the ordinance, that everything's in order. I don't give a shit, y'all print 2 copies.
I think that if you would request to not have a copy, you don't have to get one. Totally makes sense.
I like mine. I like to really occupy this whole table.
And that being said,
Yes.
you're welcome to come by anytime, and I will print you or not print you, whatever you would like.
Is your office open?
Always has been.
Oh, shit.
So I would like to move on to the next item, which is the public hearing for the proposed zoning ordinance updates. Winery is a special use permit to Art 10 Business District B1. I'd like to open the public hearing in the event there anyone would like to speak to this. Not seeing anyone present, I'll close the public hearing. Dylan, you can give us your presentation.
Sure, just a short overview. We received a request to propose amending the zoning ordinance to include winery as a special use in the B1 Business District. Currently, it's not something that can even be requested. They're only listed as by right uses in M1 and M2 industrial districts. So that allows large-scale operations by right, but doesn't really allow the opportunity to even request something smaller scale in a business district. The example we got was a location where wine is made and sold exclusively online as a wholesale operation, no tasting room or anything like that, no public access. Currently, it's defined, and this is not a farm winery, this is just regular winery, as an establishment where wine is made, bottled, and are stored for distribution, and which may contain accessory facilities for retail sales and tastings. Both distillery and brewery are listed as special uses in the B1 district, so it's the opinion of staff and planning commission that revising the ordinance to include this as a special use option is consistent with the B1 district. Planning commission held their public hearing at their April meeting and recommended approval to the board 4-0. If you have any questions about that, I will be glad to answer them.
It's good, this is a good idea, you think this is a good idea.
And it's a special use still, so even when these types of requests come in, they still come to you as the board, and you're able to put conditions on them.
Any other questions for Dylan? Okay. What is the pleasure of the board? Someone like to make a motion?
I guess. Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve this zoning ordinance update as presented as approved by the planning commission.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Mr. Harvey? Mr. Park?
Yes.
Mr. Martin?
Yes.
Mr. Rutherford?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yeah. Thank you, Dylan.
No problem.
Chairman.
Do you have other business?
No.
Mr. Rutherford? Does anyone have any other business we need to take up tonight?
Mr. Chairman, I move we adjourn this meeting.
Second.
Okay.
Mr. Harvey? Mr. Park?
Yes.
Martin? Mr. Park?
Yes.
Mr. Rutherford?
Yes.
Mr. Reed?
Yes. Thank you.
Is there anybody here who's a Gmail expert?
Yeah.
All right, so I know in Outlook, you can open up a sent message and then you can unsend it.
That would be.